Welcome to the Domain Name Wire podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Alleman, and this is episode number 560. NamesCon was last week in Miami. On today's show, you'll hear brief interviews with 16 people at the event. I recorded these on the exhibit hall floor, and it was a little bit noisy, so I apologize for any background noise you hear. The show was well attended, with perhaps just shy of 1,000 people across both NamesCon and CloudFest, which was held in conjunction with the event. It was a somewhat unusual venue for NamesCon. Overall, I think it was a good event, but I hope next year's event is held at the show hotel. This year in Miami, you had to take a shuttle back and forth between the venue and the hotel. Let's have a quick word from our sponsor, Salve.com. List your domains for sale on Salve's for sale pages and save money. You pay just a 4% commission when your domains sell. If the domains are at Salve, they transfer instantly. Otherwise, there's an easy transfer process. It's easy to list, and Salve offers fast payouts. In fact, if you sell a lot of domains with Salve, they'll even offer instant payouts. Learn more and start selling your domains today at salve.com/DNW/sell. That's SAV.com/DNW/sell. Although I was on the ground at the conference last week, I did have time to write about some news stories. Head over to domainnamewire.com to read an update about the Slipknot.com lawsuit, as well as a judgment requiring former Epic CEO Rob Monster to pay close to $2 million and much more. Now, let's chat with people on the floor at NamesCon. Lars Jensen is the CEO of ShortDot, which owns a number of top-level domains. Tell me what's new on the registry side.
Well, what's new is that we have 5 new extensions, and we're now moving into the ccTLD space as well. We recently just took over the management of .lk, Sri Lanka, ccTLD, and we'll be managing that internationally. We're working very much in that direction of scooping up more ccTLDs and taking them out on a global scale.
And do you also partner if someone has a top-level domain and they don't want to manage the marketing and such of it? Do you also handle that?
Yes, we do. We are doing that today for .coupon and partly also for .bus. We're also managing that for them. We are also seeing more deals coming in on that. And we'll also be using that for the next round. So if anybody wants to apply for the next round next year, but as you said, don't want to run it, don't want to do the marketing, we'll do that for them as well.
And do you have plans yourself to participate in the next round?
Yes, we definitely do. We actually have a goal of applying for at least 100 extension in the next round.
100. Okay. So you'll be a big player then.
Hopefully, yeah. That's what we're working on.
All right. Thanks, Lars.
Thank you very much.
Paige Howe, tell me, what's going on new with you?
A lot of good things. A lot of good things about trying to do things I've been doing for the last 20 years better. New systems, new technologies, new offerings from the companies here. Excited with the good feel for the show. It feels like a trade show again, maybe. It's not like the parking days, maybe, of the 2000s. Feels like a trade show again. Good content on the stages. And I'm still happy to be domaining.
What are you working on right now?
Still managing my own portfolio. 99% of my names are in the ICANN route, .com mostly. I have a theme for next year. The riches are in the niches. So I'm doing a lot. I can't always compete every day for the expired name auction winning, but I'm doing a lot of stuff in small TLDs that have worked out great. And then I do some consulting for a company, Freename, which is tokenizing domains and doing some interesting things with fractionalizing.
All right. Anything else going on?
Yeah, we're going to bring back the domain show. We did the first online domain conference back in 2020. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years.
So that was right during COVID, right?
Right during coming out of COVID. We were still social distancing and it worked great. But I always felt like even though you can never replace the one-on-one interaction that you have and the relationships you build at a live show, that sometimes you'd like to just consume content about landing pages, brokers, registries, registrars, what's going on. So the domain show will be 3 days. Last time we had 40 speakers, 40 hours of content. You watch it when you want. And we'll bring that back probably first quarter of 26. Ask people, what have you been doing since the new COVID ramp up we had? And then what do you see for 2030? So yeah, bringing back the domainshow.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Paige.
You got it.
Grant Polachek is the Chief Growth Officer with Atom.com. Grant, I know you guys recently released the first phase of your domain name registrar. What's the functionality at this point?
So today, the registrar is designed for anybody who buys a domain through the standard Atom processes, which would be standard, plus, and premium listings. And those will come into the registrar. And then they'll also, so they can have full management, DNS, forwarding, all the things you'd expect with a registrar. And of course, they're easy to transfer out to whatever registrar.
So if I buy a domain, I would be able to manage it directly through the Atom.com interface?
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
I know domain investors are excited about the next phase here where they'll actually be able to use registered domains with Atom. Tell me, when do you think that will happen? And what are some of the features people have to look forward to?
We're definitely looking at about 45 days, hopefully before the end of the year at the very latest. The main thing for domain investors is going to be to have a unified platform to be able to bring their domains with us. We are working on something similar to an instant transfer. So if a domain is with us, and it's purchased, there'll be no steps. It'll just go right from the domain owner, the seller's account to the buyer's account. And there'll be a badge, most likely, on the landing page. So we'll say something like instant transfer that'll give buyers even more confidence and understanding of the speed. So that'll be the major thing. And then all the standard features that you would want from a registrar, we'll be doing drop domains. There's some interesting things that we're not quite ready to talk about, but I think the domain community is going to be really excited about for expired auctions. And then we'll have another thing that we think domain investors will really like is default preferences. And I'm not sure if it'll be in the first phase, but we'll even have tags. So if you want all your domains to automatically be listed or as standard or plus, you can just set that, and everything that comes in will go through that automatic process.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Ron Jackson is the publisher of DN Journal, the famed DN Journal. And we are here in your backyard here in Miami this year. So I'm curious, you've been to a lot of NamesCon. What do you think of this one?
It's really been great. What I really find so interesting about it is what a full circle moment it is, because the whole concept of a major domain conference was born here in South Florida, just up the road from us in Delray Beach at another Marriott hotel, which is the show hotel, though we're in a different kind of venue at the Ice Palace. It's not the typical situation where you're in a hotel, you go down the elevator between the shows, so they're having to shuttle people over. I know there were reservations about that system, including my own, about having to drag stuff around, not be able to get back to your room. But if you're going to hand anything to them, their shuttle services have been incredible. I've never waited 1 second coming out of the hotel and getting back on. So it's only a 10-minute run over. And then the plus sides of that are once you get to this venue, unlike a typical hotel ballroom, this Ice Palace is we got 30-foot roofs here. So I noticed the exhibit hall is insane. Web Pros is up front with a giant square. I don't know that I've ever seen so many exhibitors, which the other thing I think that makes this different, I think there has been a pent-up demand to come back to South Florida, because in the day, this was really the epicenter of the domain world. You'd have to say this, and I would have to, Vancouver would obviously have a legitimate argument to say, no, that's us, because that's Frank Schilling and his mentor, Gary Chernoff from there, Richard Lau, Kevin Ham, who is here. But, I could reel off the South Florida names too. But it's a place where, a lot of the whole industry started. It's been gone from here. I think the last one was like the Merge conferences that the new family was involved in, who put on traffic. That ended, as I recall, in 2017. So it's been 8 years since a big show in South Florida. So I've heard that the attendance could be roughly around 800 between this show and the one that's running concurrently, the CloudFest show. I don't know if that's true, because what happens is a lot of time people register, even pay, and then for whatever reason, they don't show up. I have some friends, actually, I know, who bought tickets and then they didn't come and they gave their hotel room to someone else. So that happens. But still, from what I'm seeing, the crowd is really strong. And I think that's a really good thing, good indicator for the industry as a whole.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
My pleasure.
Domain investor Eddie Sixto, you are based here in South Florida. Tell me a little bit more about the domain community down here.
The domain community here is just amazing. There's a lot of key players here, and they've been around for quite some time. We do some get-togethers under the South Florida Domainers.com group. I put those together, and we usually get a great turnout. The last turnout, we had a lot of key players here. Probably about, I think it was 29. I have a Facebook group that you can access, and it's openly available if anybody wants to check it out. And if anybody comes to South Florida, let us know, reach out to us, and maybe we can do a meetup around you.
So someone's on Facebook. What should they search for to find that group?
South Florida Domainers Group.
Awesome. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Anand Vora is VP of BD and Partnerships at D3 Global. For those that aren't familiar with D3, because they haven't listened to my podcast before, what is D3?
D3 is a company that is bridging the Web2 DNS anchored domain names world to the Web3 world. So we are bringing DNS anchored domains on chain so that the audience, the buyers, the users in Web3 can buy, sell, trade, and use domain names as you and I have come to know for the last 20 years. So we are the ones, we have a protocol, our own blockchain for domains, the first one called DOMA protocol. And that's what we have built. And we are bringing supply from the Web2 world to match the demand that we've been seeing in the Web3 world.
I've seen several recent domain registrar partnership announcements. Tell me about those.
Yeah. So, our ethos for building DOMA was we want both sides of the world to come online and interact with each other. So we want to be the technology layer in between, the bridge that enables netizens to walk back and forth between the two worlds. For us to bring the supply on, our approach is, hey, work with the registrar partners that have the supply, the registrants, so that they can tokenize and bring the domains on board. So we actually have a few partnerships. The most recent one that we announced is Sav. Anthos, we signed them a few weeks ago, and we are working with them on integration as they have a focus on creators and builders and investors. The other partnership we have is Ionis, InternetX. They are one of the largest players in the world, the largest in Europe. And they have a variety of businesses and different verticals that they tap into. So the idea is to bring all the different types of supply and users on board and on chain.
When could domain investors actually be able to use some of these features and technology?
A great question. We are right now in testnet. Testnet is a version similar to beta in our world. We come out of testnet in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And actually, the partners I mentioned, and RumaWeb and Connect Reseller and Circa, Nicknames, all of them are at different stages of integration. Some of them have finished it. So in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you guys will be able to touch and feel and actually transact. So we're super excited with that.
Cool. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Great seeing you, Andrew.
David Wormas with above.com. There have been lots of changes in monetization this year, of course, with AdSense for domains. Tell me what's going on right now when it comes to monetization.
Yeah, sure. There are definitely a lot of changes. Unfortunately, Google made quite a few critical changes to the AFD feed with their recent opt-out of advertisers. What that basically means that all the parked pages that traditionally that Google monetized, you can now visit one of those pages, and one of the keywords that's listed as one of the results, you click on it, there's no ads anymore. What that means is that AFD monetization is pretty much dead. We've seen most of our clients, their revenues, if they were purely doing Google monetization, drop by 95%, which is a substantial number. Luckily for us, we have other solutions available to our customers, with especially the direct-to-advertiser component, Yahoo feed, and now we're integrating the RSOC solution. And for those who don't know what RSOC is, it's basically relevant search for content. It's a AdSense-based product. It's similar to a park domain name, except you have a content wrapper around the ads. So you're generating a lot of content instead of just having a park page.
So what I'm hearing is that not great from the fact that Google AdSense for domains has effectively gone away, but there are other solutions to make up some of that gap.
Oh, yeah, totally. And we believe that the direct-to-advertiser is always the channel that performs better than parking, so it always has. So anyone that's using Above has been able to maintain most of their revenues, which is quite impressive. But integrating a Google-based solution will then get your revenues back to the 12-month period before the changes happened.
And so just for those not familiar, direct to advertiser or zero click is where you go to a domain and it automatically forwards to the advertiser?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Kevin Kopas, you have a new venture you're involved with. Tell me about this.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks. Yeah. So Stephen Lieberman and AP Legal reached out, and they have a couple registrar creds that we're working on. Obviously, Stephen and his team are really big in the IP law, UDRP, all of that trademark space. We have a couple registrar creds that we're going to be expanding into different jurisdictions, making it so that you can choose as a registrant where you want your domain and your data hosted at to keep things a little bit more safe and secure and all that stuff. Then we're obviously building out just a normal registrar. We're integrating stuff from escrow domains and from estoy.com and all of our sister companies into one really cool trading / domain registration platform that is going to keep everyone safe and secure and offer some stuff that I don't think is out there and integrated across the board yet.
Is there anything that people can see today?
Right now, it's coming soon. We're just a couple days away. We were hoping for the launch here at NamesCon, but as soon as we are, we're going to be blasting it out there and everything. We do have like a coming soon sign up to join the beta at digitalcandy.com. You can go visit that. And then obviously escrow.domains or escrowdomains.com is also up and running, and that's already working, and you can do escrow transactions there.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
Brady Anthony Brumfield with Unstoppable Domains. Tell me, why would a domain investor want to use Unstoppable Domains?
So at Unstoppable, we're an at-cost registrar. We don't make a dime on any of our registrations or renewals. So we have some of the best pricing in the industry, like $5 COM registrations every Friday and $5.55 COM transfers. That goes until December 1st. And you can get up to 1,800 transfers at that price. Other reasons are we're a domainer-focused registrar. So we don't focus on email upsells and other things that clutter up your experience. Rather, we're focused on the secondary marketplace. Recently, we've added landers that have LTO up to 10-year terms, which is the largest you'll see in the industry. We have self-brokerage that puts you in full control. You can even add your WhatsApp and Telegram links into your landers to have absolutely full control of your negotiations. And we've also added things like being able to list for sale from another registrar, and also escrow external transactions similar to, other escrow products in the market. And you can do all of that for just 3% at Unstoppable. So it's the low cost solution for people.
And you just announced an integration with Afternic, right?
That's right. So a week and a half ago, we joined the Afternic network. We know that's been a huge milestone. Domainers have had that at the top of their wish list for a long time. So we're really excited to get that over the line. And I think we're quite competitive with other registrars in terms of feature set now. So users with existing Afternic listings should have gotten an email, gotten some scattered reports. You may not have gotten the email, but you can relist on Afternic to get all of your Unstoppable domains enabled for fast transfer. And yeah, we're excited to hit the ground running with that and hope to see some more adoption.
And are all these specials, if people just go to unstoppabledomains.com, will they see these offers there, the transfer and the new registrations?
That's right. Yeah, on our homepage, you should see all of this. And yeah, it should be pretty straightforward.
All right. Thanks, Brady.
Thanks.
Camilla Sikowitz is the executive director of the Internet Commerce Association, and got the annual meeting coming up, right?
Exactly. So 2.5 months out, we're here in Miami at NamesCon. I've spoken to pretty much all of our members here, and a lot of our members are here at the meeting and they're at the conference, and they are very excited about coming to Vegas. We've signed up a bunch of new members. There is a lot of member companies sponsoring the meeting. So overall, we're very exciting. It will be a much smaller meeting than NamesCon, obviously, but for those of you who already know about our meeting, it's a lot more personal. And yeah, we're very much looking forward to it.
And this will be in January, and it's a new venue in Vegas this year, right?
Exactly. So we are moving to Park MGM, which is a smaller hotel than Resorts World. It'll probably be a little bit better suited for our meeting just because it is smaller, and we will have 2 rooms. It will probably still be mostly 1-track meeting, but we might offer some 2-track sessions. We're still looking into it.
And where can people register?
Come to our website. It's either ica.domains or internetcommerce.org. And we also have a ica.vegas website where you can find a link to our tickets.
If anyone should have multiple domains, it should be the ICA, right?
Exactly. We have it covered.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dave Evanson is a broker with Cito. Dave, what are you seeing in the domain market right now?
The market's very strong this year. Usually we see a dip in the summer. We didn't see it this year. The end of the year is looking very good. I've been here for 16 years, had some great years, and I think this will be my best year as long as the next few weeks work out the way I think they will. So we're bullish.
You've had some big sales already this year, right?
We've had a few 7-figure sales. I think 1 or 2 of them were announced, and the others I can just, NDAs. And in some cases I can mention the amount, but not the name.
Well, that's a big part of those 7-figure names, right? Is a lot of times the buyer doesn't want it to be known, if not the seller.
Absolutely. I think it's at least 90% seven-figure names are not announced. Sometimes they're found later on through 10Ks or other public documentation, but at least 90% have NDAs.
And it's something to remember, I think, when people see the CETO weekly sales list, is those are the domains that are public. And like you said, a lot of the bigger ones aren't.
Absolutely. Most of our sales over 50,000 are not public. Once you get up to 1 million or more, it's at least 90% that are not public.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
Todd Hahn is the founder of Dynadot. And I'm standing here at your booth, and it's all about Name Club, powered by Dynadot. So tell me about Name Club.
We actually have about 6 million domains in our marketplace. We just didn't feel like we were presenting them very well to the buyers. And so we decided to build out a new site just dedicated for people looking for like premium domains, to make it easy for them to search, to visualize the brand. We have logos on each domain. And so that was the idea behind Name Club. We're just hoping that we can attract like a slightly different audience to view these domains and make more sales for our domain investor customers.
So as a Dynadot customer, I can list on Name Club directly from within my account?
That's exactly right. If you list in our marketplace, the domains will automatically show up on Name Club. And it's a different source of traffic. So we just hope it can give you guys more exposure.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Sean Stafford is VP of Domain Services at ThreatWave. Sean, you work on alternative monetization for domain name owners with email. How does that work?
Yeah, it's incredibly interesting service we provide for taking in emails that from park domain names. So all the parking companies have domain names. The DNS is delegated to them, but they only utilize the stuff that you see whenever you go to the domain itself. So there's other records available. The MX is one of them. Taking all the, call it bad traffic, the email, spam, the malicious stuff, those types of things. And we break it down into different data feeds for anti-spam, anti-phishing, anti-malware, and sell those off to partners who use them in definitions in their products. All that means is that it's another way for a domain owner to make money from their domains, and it doesn't compete with any of the parking companies. This is in addition to, not in replacement of.
So just to be clear, when we talk about, I know a lot of people get concerned about email monetization and such here. You're selling this to help people prevent bad actors, right?
That's the main focus, is that there's a demand to stop people doing bad things. And online, the only way to know that is what they're doing, what they've done. Well, in order to get in front of that, we have all this data that comes into us every single second of every day, compile it, and turn it into these feeds that we sell to these companies. And whenever you do an update on one of those anti-spam or anti-malware products, that is likely in there. So no matter what you're using, there's a good chance it's actually in there. Yeah, that's how we're monetizing it. They pay us, and then we pay the domain.
So you work directly with parking companies and individual domain owners if they own a lot of names, I assume?
That's correct. Registrars, expiry streams for registrars, domain name owners who have a large portfolio and control their own DNS. So as long as you control your own DNS, you have your own DNS system, and you're a large domainer, absolutely, we'd love to have you on the system.
And how hard is it to implement?
Less than 3 minutes. It's a couple of lines of code in your DNS system. And once it's implemented, it starts flowing right away. You don't even have to add the domains to the panel. They self-populate. It's a 3-minute implementation, set and forget.
And where can people learn more or get in touch?
Absolutely. Emails to me, Sean.Stafford@validity.com. That's our parent company, Validity. It's Sean, SEAN.Stafford, STAFFORD at Validity, VALIDITY.com. Sean.Stafford at Validity.com.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
So, Roger, tell me about Countersign.
Countersign is an e-signature platform company. We're actually a DocuSign competitor, but we're faster, we're less expensive, and we're better.
You've created this kind of unique document for domain owners as well, right?
Yeah. So one of the ones that has been really useful is the co-ownership agreement. If you were to go at an auction or whatever and buy a domain with another domainer, now you can send them an agreement right away with the domain name, the price, and like the percentages. And we have templates for this for any domainer to use for free. And yeah, you check it out on countersign.com.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thanks, Andrew.
Wade Smith is Director of Aftermarket Sales at GoDaddy. You recently launched DomainNames.com. What is DomainNames.com?
Yeah, DomainNames.com is a ultra premium marketplace dedicated to domain names that are likely going to have a sales price in the six-figure and above range. We're looking to build awareness for these domain names, make them more discoverable, and help move these ultra premium domain names.
How can people list their names there?
To list your names on DomainNames.com, you can go to the site. There is a sell domain section, or you can simply email premium@GoDaddy.com.
All right. And James Isles is here as well. James, tell me about this new perk with the Domain Discount Club, the Pro level.
Yeah, so Domain Pro, we've just added this week, as of talking at NamesCon, a new benefit for GoDaddy auctions where Pro members get a $20 a month auction credit. So yeah, every single month, start of every month, you'll get an email with at the moment, it's a code where you go to GoDaddy auctions, check out, enter the code, and then you get $20 off your purchase.
And when should we receive our first code?
So Domain Pro customers would have received it this week. The next one will come out beginning of December, but we'll make sure that we shout it from the rooftops as well.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Christian Voss is with Taku. And last time we chatted, you told me a little bit about kind of the story of launching it. And now the registrar still isn't out, right? So when should we expect that to happen?
So the registrar with functionality is already out in the closed beta phase, but to open for public will be in Q1 next year.
Okay. And let's talk about monetization, because I know that's another piece of the puzzle here. There are a lot of changes going on monetization. What are you offering people in regards to that?
Actually, Google put some pressure on us because they announced to let the AFD product die earlier than we expected. So we created a different solution with a different feed provider and with 3, 4, 5 other feed providers to serve all existing registrars and domain portfolio owners in the same way to monetize their traffic how it used to be. Because the main point or the main difference between the old AFD and RSOC is for AFD, you can use as many domains as you want. And for us, you just need one domain. So every registrar is facing a loss, maybe a huge loss of their domain inventory. And a lot of domain investors are thinking about letting the domains expire because they're just too expensive and the money doesn't come in. So we are offering a alternative to that.
So fair to say you've been focusing on that maybe more than the registrar right now because of the urgent need?
Correct. So it was an external force who said, okay, we have to do that now.
And if people want to learn more about monetizing with you, just taku.com?
Taku.com, or reach out directly to either Michael Piotrowski from our team, pio@taku.com, or Christian@taku.com.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks to everyone who took a few minutes out from their day at NamesCon to talk to me for this podcast. That's a wrap on this week's Domain Name Wire podcast. You can listen to all previous episodes at dnw.com/podcast or on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening.